وحدك في الطريق ونيلك حالك مؤلم أنا שוטי לה נער סופה גריבה כבר שעת זריחה בחלומך סוער
Wow, what a wonderful way to begin. The JCC has indeed been a bridge over troubled water during these difficult months. Many thanks to the internationally acclaimed band from Shalva, a Jerusalem partner leading the way the world understands, cares for, and embraces disability. Good evening. Welcome to the Marlene Meyerson JCC Manhattan Annual Benefit. We are so glad that you are joining us. I am Cheryl Kay, Chair of the JCC's Board of Directors. We could not be happier to welcome you to this year's benefit, where we celebrate with two audiences, our virtual community. Thanks for tuning in and for being here with us tonight, and our honorees who are able to celebrate in person tonight with their families, thanks to strict COVID regulations and precautions. Tonight, we celebrate Real Abilities New York and those that make it shine. Lynn Bartner Wiesel and Michelle Faig, the festival's co-chairs, and Heidi Lorensky and Jordana Sandler Manzano, the founding co-chairs. We are, of course, also thrilled to present the Impact Award to Isaac Zlablaki, Senior Director of the Carol Zabor Center for Film, for his dedication not only to Real Abilities, but to the JCC Film Program. A huge mazel tov to our honorees. Each year at our annual benefit, we celebrate the JCC, our community, and all that we have accomplished in a year. Every year is special, but this year we have so much to celebrate. During this challenging time, our community has proven to us over and over again that we are strong, needed, supported, and loved. You have allowed us to get through this very difficult year, to look forward, to see silver linings, and to continue to provide for our community. Even when times were uncertain, we knew that the community was not. The JCC was always strong, and now even stronger, thanks to your support during the pandemic. Thank you. Finally, and most importantly, a tremendous thank you to our incredible staff. You have worked tirelessly to create a virtual JCC, teach our children, provide for our members a place where they can work out safely, and kept us all safe. It is each and every one of you that we also honor tonight. We hope for those joining us virtually, you will write messages in the chat box in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you have questions about this, please email development@mmjccm.org. And exciting news, we have a very generous match this evening of $25,000. Every gift you give tonight, both in person and online, will be matched dollar for dollar. So help us reach our goal of raising these funds, if you can, by donating in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen or by scanning the QR code at your table. If the JCC has helped you this past year, if you are proud of our work, or if you love Real Abilities and our amazing honorees, please consider making a gift. Thank you so much in advance. And now let's get this party started. We can't wait to watch with you tonight, to celebrate with you tonight, and bring our annual benefits to you live.
Blocky. One hot summer night in August, I believe, of 2007, I was introduced to a young man named Yitzi Zablocki. The first words out of my mouth were, I have a dream, and that would be to have a New York Disabilities Film Festival. And what was so wonderful was Yitzi's immediate response. He said, that's about the most important thing I could do. And I said, we're gonna do it. And literally a year and 1 month later, we had the first annual Real Abilities Film Festival.
When I think of Real Abilities and a number of programs at the JCC, inclusivity comes to mind. We have always welcomed everyone, celebrated everyone. I think we're a better people for it and community for it.
For me, Real Abilities is really personal because actually the first time I ever spoke publicly was as a discussant for a film about Miss Wheelchair America, and it was on the topic of beauty.
I guess when I think about the Jewish community being historically marginalized for eons, it seems like a natural fit to lift up another people, and the JCC being a community space that's uplifting, uplifting to the disability community.
And I approached and said, let's just fund, let's sponsor right, Real Abilities and see what it does. And what it did was it started to open up a conversation within the organization, and so then that's how we ended up over the years continuing to expand that role.
It's not only about the films, it's also about the panels and the convenings and the questions and the discussions.
We thought this is what we want our mission to include as part of the kind of work we're doing. We feel like this fit in beautifully in terms of the human spirit, the human connection.
One of the things that Real Abilities has done, or is continuing to do, because it's not easy, is changing the perception of disabilities.
The New York City Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities goal is to make New York City the most accessible city in the world. And the reason why I think Real Abilities aligns with us so much, because they are a festival that's fully accessible. And being able to do it in person, and now shifting to the virtual world and showing everybody how accessible a film festival should be, really aligns with our office perfectly.
The other day, I was looking out my window and I saw on the terrace below Heidi jumping up and down with her 2-year-olds in twos together on the terrace. And I just thought, that's Heidi, jumping up and down, enthusiastic, jumping in, willing to help, willing to get you to giggle, willing to get you to commit. That's Heidi.
The family that I found here was a crucial and critical and extremely important part of my own parenting process, and helping to foster that for other families in our neighborhood, I think is one of the best things that I do as an employee here and also as a lay leader here.
It's so much fun to work with Heidi. She has so much energy and we have a great time, and I hate speaking in public and she loves it, so it was great.
She is so passionate about inclusion, and she was with Jordana, one of the real early founders of this film festival, and helped create the foundation on which everything grew.
I think Jordana wakes up every morning asking the question, what can I do to help today? And if she's not helping, she's looking for a way to help.
She leads with love. Her whole heart is in what she does.
One of our greatest partnerships was when we got the Jumbotron in Times Square. And it actually cost a little money because we had to get the tech around it. But Reuters gave us their Jumbotron, which is 4 or 5 stories in Times Square. Everybody I've ever gone to, they try and figure out something, some way that they can get involved, do something. And it means the world to us, and it raises awareness and brings 20% of the population that's just left out and not included to be included.
She pours her heart into this effort because she sees the staff pouring their heart into this effort. And that's what makes it so beautiful.
The motive is so clear. It's with love for the right reason, or in order to get to a better end.
Jordana and I have become such good friends. She is one of my best friends in life, and I don't know how I would get through various aspects of my life without Jordana.
Congratulations, Jordana. Thank you for all you've done for the JCC, and thank you for being the best sister a girl could ask for. I love you.
Lynn is just a bag of enthusiasm about everything, and that's very contagious as well.
Both she and Michelle took it further than I ever did. I mean, they're on the film selection committee. They spend hours and hours viewing these movies and figuring out what they think will work in the festival.
It was amazing to see Lynn running around the fairgrounds at the opening of the Real Abilities Film Festival, which was a drive-in in Queens. The energy that was exploding from Lynn, whether she was literally hugging you or she was figuratively hugging you. For me, having not seen her physically, I just felt her energy coming at me in the most glorious way.
It doesn't feel like a volunteer job, but it feels like a real job. And I get paid in nachas and love and reciprocity. And I learn so much from being involved in this particular film festival and then watching all the other film festivals, it broadens my perspective on everything.
I think everything Michelle touches just gets bigger and better. That's my experience with her. Whether it was in the nutrition program, just got bigger and better and embedded into the life of our programming, and Real Abilities, which got bigger and better through her engagement, involvement, and support.
The educational programs that we have now really promote nutritional excellence for adults and kids and families, from athletes to seniors. And that was Michelle's vision.
Michelle always brings her A game to everything. When she commits to something, it's 100%, and her warmth and her smile and her energy is infectious.
We take about 6 to 10 social work interns a year, and we needed some extra help in supporting them. And along came Michelle Faig, who was so excited to be a part of this. She has supervised several interns. She took a very personalized approach, as she does with everything. She really, really cares.
She's a lot of fun to partner with and to be around.
I was amazed by these films. I was amazed by listening to the questions from the people in the room. And personally, I asked so many questions that the next day, Jordana called and asked if I would be a chairperson for the next year.
I can't imagine Real Abilities being what it is without the driving force that is Yitzi.
Yitzi is Real Abilities. I mean, he has been there from ground zero. He's been an amazing leadership.
He's a nudge and wants to make sure that things get forward. He's relentless in his pursuit for accessibility, and he wants to bring everyone under the same umbrella.
I think if he was getting an award for anything, I think he'd want to be known as a family man. But it occurred to me today how much of a family Real Abilities is for him also, and how personally he takes this work.
How was it to work with him? He's a dream. He's just a dream. First of all, he's the hardest worker. And because he's so nice, he has great relations with everyone. He's even patched up relations that I have not conducted so well.
I've had the privilege of working with Yitzi for 16 years, and it's been an unbelievable journey of growth, both in terms of the size of the film program and its depth.
We knew that we wanted to have a film festival that focused on the community, that focused on partnerships that went beyond the films, and really brought a message of change to our community. And that was something that really Anita's program and network with UJA Federation kicked us off in a really strong way, because we had all these amazing partnerships that came to the table.
Isaac has been a faithful leader that has never wavered in his belief that we can make a difference.
He's a filmmaker in that he selects the things that should be part of this festival, or he steers the festival on this path. And this is not the only festival he's involved in, so I know there's like a director in there somewhere too.
In the meetings of the selection committee, Isaac plays a pivotal role, because his opinion about the films really affects all of us in a very positive way.
The festival really went up a notch when Jordana, Heidi, Lynn, and Michelle came on board.
We just love Real Abilities to just embrace all our peoplehood and differences and our connection.
I think that most of the impact is in the film industry, actually, to encourage film artists to bring to the screen films that are pretty much either about a disability or a general storyline where one of the characters has a disability.
And now this is a place, the JCC, that people with disabilities turn to for guidance, for ideas, for information, for help.
The JCC has been perfect with regard to the evolution of Real Abilities, because it has allowed Real Abilities to find its own way.
When I grew up, I didn't see anyone like me. You know, as a half Asian girl with peepholes and CP, I didn't see other women with CP on screen. And so to see, you know, narratives of CP or any other disabilities represented, I know what that means for future generations of people with disabilities.
I think the film festival has had a big impact on people's understanding that ability exists on a spectrum and that people with disabilities are human beings, every bit as much as anyone else.
One year, we had our closing night here at the JCC, and the film was about dancing. And we had a dance party in the lobby as the closing night celebration. And one woman comes over to me during the party and she says, "Can you take pictures of my daughter dancing there in the middle of the floor? Because my daughter has cerebral palsy and she's dancing for the first time." And this is why we do Real Abilities. It's really these beautiful moments of people having the spotlight put on them for the first time, having the opportunity to feel like everybody else for the first time, seeing yourself on the screen for the first time, and feeling completely welcome and feeling a part of the celebration. And you know, this sandbox is for everybody.
Hi, everybody. Whew. I'm Rabbi Joy Levitt. I'm the proud CEO of the Marlene Meyerson JCC Manhattan, and it is my pleasure to bring up to the stage today's honorees, Heidi, Lynn, Michelle, Jordana. Come on up. Heidi. Go, Lynn.
You're pressing start when you look at me. I'm pressing start when I'm thinking of your little eyebrow. Raise a special position.
We've been waiting a long time for this day.
My body shivers.
Let's hope we can do it again next year.
So this is my opportunity to go a little deeper than you all saw on that video. I want to say to all of you out there that if you want to know what really makes the JCC work, why we're able to do the amazing things that we do on behalf of the community, just take a look at these 4 extraordinary women. Our strength, and they actually like each other, our strength really lies in our ability to listen hard to what it is that people want and need, and to bring extraordinary talent together. You're looking at the very best of the very best. So Heidi.
Yep.
As you know, I've been watching you teach your class from my window. It is the way that I knew that we were getting back to normal, to see those happy children. I know that you have made children feel safe and loved and happy and able to grow this year, along with your colleagues in Twos Together and in the nursery school and throughout the JCC. So I can't remember a time that you have not been at the JCC.
That's true. I had to think.
It is
about
true. When did you get here? Can you remember the first time you walked in?
I do. The first time I walked into the JCC was to get some supplies for a Shabbat Club class I was teaching at a satellite
Did you find
location.
them?
I found them.
Oh,
the
amazing.
building was not open. But the time that I came into the JCC for the first time that was extremely meaningful was in December of 2001. The building was still not open, but we were lighting the Hanukkah every night for 8 nights. And
Marty Meyerson, are you out
Marty,
there
you were
somewhere?
here.
Marty was the co-chair of that dedication. We dedicated the building. We had been open for a couple of months because of nursery school, but you're quite right. We were in that
most of the building wasn't open.
Yeah.
The lobby was not heated. That's right. I forgot
remember
about that.
Yes.
There was no heat in the lobby, but it was the first time that I was here with my actual child who's not here, because she lives in Washington, D.C. now. She just graduated from college last month. But she and I were here, and my husband was here. We watched the then board of directors light the Hanukkah, and it was the first community event
in this room
that we celebrated here at the JCC in Manhattan, which it was called then, the JCC in Manhattan.
It was indeed.
And it was the first time that I felt the power of community that we were about to start building here.
And so all these years later, tell us what's inspired you the most?
I didn't plan an answer for this.
Yeah, see, I gave them some questions and not all of them.
I am inspired by the breadth of people who walk in this building, used to and will again, walk in this building every day, and the people who we see on Zoom. We've had how many thousands of people on Zoom in the past year?
Thousands. Just at the Tikkun alone, the Paul Feig Tikkun Leil Shavuot, 12,000 registrants.
It's a lot.
12,000.
So I am inspired by all of the people
I
who
want to
come
say
here.
the best of those sessions was Alicia Wiesel and me doing Daf
heard
Yomi.
that. I heard
just
that.
want to say, I was terrified. He was not, but it was excellent. Yes, go ahead.
And also by my three colleagues here, Jordana, Michelle, and Lynn, who have done amazing work with Real Abilities, and Joy, by you, duh.
Thanks.
Duh.
So Lynn, I said in the video, and I meant it, like to be hugged by you is to have an experience unlike any other.
You know, I used to be a massage therapist.
And it's been such, yeah, she is a massage therapist by day, but some of us, I mean, some of you have had the good fortune of being hugged by Lynn during this entire time, but that wasn't me until we were out there in Queens, of all places, at the opening of Real Abilities. But
awesome.
it's true, your smile, your passion, your sensitivity. I actually use the word infectious here, but that's not a word we're allowed to use anymore, so we don't want to use that word, right? But I know that you and Alicia first came here as nursery school parents. What brought you to Real Abilities, and where do you feel that we're making an impact?
Well, Jordana basically brought me to the Upper West Side, and then to the JCC, and then to Real Abilities.
I bet she didn't ask. I bet she
There
just
was
said,
no choice.
Lynn, you have to move here.
Yeah. Her persistence, perseverance, and friendship brought me here into this community and inspired me to learn and grow. And what was the second part of the question?
How'd you get involved
in
in Real
Jordana
Abilities?
right now.
It's always all about Jordana. But how did you get involved in Real Abilities? Also Jordana?
Jordana, of course.
But how about, I know, but how about why? What is it that spoke to you particularly about this festival?
I was looking for an education in understanding diversity, of neurodiversity specifically. I think we've all had challenges in our lives, and then when we have children, we find out they have differences as well. You need to learn, and books aren't always the best resource. Community is. Film is an amazing source of education. And then the conversations after the films are where the real learning happens.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yitzi often says, and he's a film guy, right? But he often says it's the conversations that create the community around these ideas,
Exactly.
and make you feel like you're not so alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you learn what to do, how to be, how other people do it, how we all survive in our skin.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in awe. I'm really in awe. I'm always in awe of the way in which the JCC facilitates growth. You know, the Beit Midrash on the 7th floor was designed as the heart of this institution. Unusual for a JCC to say that Jewish learning, that big idea that we're all created in the image of God, that each one of us is unique and special and worthy. That emanates from those books on the 7th floor, but this place is so much about the way that we learn and the way that we grow, and it's just incredible to hear you talk about that.
I want to occupy one more thought.
Go for it.
One more moment. The swimming pool.
The swimming pool.
The swimming pool. I started swimming at the JCC pool, I don't remember when, but the diversity of people in the pool and all of our abilities in trying to maintain or grow or heal what we have.
Yeah.
What we do. That inspired me.
And I have to say that was one of the things that most people missed this year, right?
Yeah.
My doctor is here, Dr. Paula Rakoff, and in the middle of COVID, or toward the end of it, she wrote me a letter and said, I have a patient that really needs to use the pool, that really can't, and used to be in our pool every single day. If I write a doctor's note, can you let her in, even though it's, we didn't have any water in the pool, so that was a little bit of a problem, but I have been downstairs, and I've been telling this to Melissa and Todd. I've been downstairs at 7:30 as people are coming in for the first time from a year and a half to go to the pool, and the tears of joy that people are experiencing just to be able to get back into that pool, and watching our staff see these people they haven't seen in a year and a half and saying, I heard you had a granddaughter, let me see a picture. Right? That's what makes the JCC different than another fitness center, right? It's pretty amazing.
And the teachers.
And the teachers and the staff, and all of you.
They've
So
come and
Michelle,
gone. They've come and
okay, we've stalled long enough. Michelle, you ready? Michelle, you have been involved in so many different leadership roles here at the JCC, serving on our board, working with the Silver Center staff, as you saw with our social work interns, helping shape our nutrition program. I wonder, do you know how many films you've had to watch in the last many years for Real Ability?
You're asking the cumulative?
I mean, cumulative, you think like hundreds of films, probably.
I would say I'm a little over 1,000.
A little over 1,000. Now that is dedication.
That's a lot of films.
Because they probably weren't all like fantastic.
So that's a very interesting awareness. And what I love is that we accept all films, just like we want to accept all people. And so when I'm watching a film and it's not really moving me in the way that I think, I'm going to give this a good review so that it gets into, that makes a big difference, so that it makes it into the selection. But I think, oh my God, there's an actor in it, and somebody wrote it, and somebody filmed it, and somebody directed it, and you feel their passion, even if it's not the quality to get into our film festival. And it's like honoring each person's ability or disability and just sticking through.
You're clearly the right person to watch these films.
However, I vote most of them very high.
Okay,
So
maybe not.
I don't eliminate very well.
So Jordana, you've had a busy week. Mazal Tov on Rosie's bat mitzvah. In almost 2 decades of your involvement here at the JCC, you've done literally everything. Nursery school, JJP, committees, board. You're the official baker of goodies for our staff.
True.
Talk a little bit about your journey. What? Oh, crochet, yeah. Crocheting baby gifts for those who want Snugs and Sweets. You can check it out on Instagram. All proceeds go to the JCC, I should say. Can you talk about your journey here at the JCC? Why has it been so important to you and your family?
You know, it's funny because I was prepared for Heidi's question, but it's the same answer. I first came into the JCC when everybody else had turned me away. And I'm gonna get a little choked up here. I needed to get married. And it was after September 11th, and to me the most important thing was love. And I tried to find a rabbi, and my husband wanted us to have a rabbi, and we couldn't find one. And we got turned away everywhere we went. And we walked in this building, and we were embraced, and we were accepted. And that has only helped as we have grown our family, as our children have been whoever they are and who they are, and as we have grown. And that's why we're still here and why we're so dedicated. My kids, my husband, myself.
So I'm going to do one last lightning round, and then we're going to move to see a wonderful short. So you got one word, okay? You've got your marketers. You got to tell people why the JCC matters. One word, quick.
Community. Community.
Inclusivity.
Both.
And there you have it. So now, Heidi, Lynn, Michelle, and Jordana, for everything that you do and for everything that you are, we have this small token of gratitude on behalf of the community. Heidi? Lynn? Michelle, Jordana. And now we want to share with you one of the shorts from Real Abilities that shows the transformative power of film. You will see a story of friendship and inclusion that reminds us that there is a proud place on every shelf for everyone. Thank you. So those fabulous four had an inspiring leader every step of the way in Isaac Zablocki. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage. So Yitzi, last March, when you informed me that Real Abilities was going to have to be virtual, as you know, I told you you were out of your mind. Sure that we would be open in a few weeks, I pleaded with you to postpone the festival. You were adamant, and you were right. Despite the fact that you yourself were sick with this virus that we knew so little about then, you and your team persevered. As the first program here at the JCC to pivot, you showed us that not only could this festival happen, but happen in a bigger and in some ways better way than ever before. Much larger attendance and much more accessible. You moved from loss to gain, and in so doing set the bar for the many months the entire JCC was able to find our community in the virtual world. For 17 years, I have been your student. You have literally taught me how to see. In the early days of the Other Israel Film Festival, urged by Carol Zabar to begin to see Israel's Arab population, you showed us how to see the other and realize that for all our differences, we are in fact more similar than we think. Through your eyes and the eyes of the directors and the actors and the producers and the screenwriters, our whole community learned how to see, some of us for the first time. When you teamed up with Anita Altman to found Real Abilities, the JCC was already deep into our work with people with disabilities, but it was your passion and your commitment that once again helped us to see where before we had averted our eyes. Real Abilities yells loudly and proudly, see us, not only our disabilities. And once again, you have helped the JCC be a force for good in the world. There is a thread that works through your work, Yitzi, and despite the fact that you see yourself as a Chiloni, a secular Jew, it is this. Yeah, he really isn't, he just calls himself that. You understand the deep Jewish value of Tselem Elohim, of each person having been created in the image of God. You walk through the world believing in the fundamental truth of each person's humanity. You ask us to do the same, to trust our eyes to see all that the world has to offer. And we are all the better for that teaching. It has been a privilege to be your student, and for all that and more, on behalf of a very grateful community, it is my honor to present you with this year's JCC Impact Award.
Whoa, I hope I make it through this. Thank you, Joy, thank you all. What an amazing community, what an amazing night. It's so great to see everybody, see your faces. I would love to take credit for all of this, but it truly is a team effort. And sure, Anita and I cooked this up at some comedy club one night, but none of this would be possible without so many other people here in this room. And I'll start with Carol Zabar, who not only supports our entire film program and everything that we do here in the center, but of course is the founder of the Other Israel Film Festival. And she might deny this, but Real Abilities is actually stemmed out of Other Israel. In many ways. What's the connection between Palestinians and people with disabilities, and how many people would be really happy with that comparison? Nobody, I promise. We use film here to bring unseen populations into the spotlight. and through these stories help create deeper and better understanding of humanity. And we don't just stop there. The model of Other Israel, which is so fitting for the JCC, is that we engage our community and have challenging conversations and lead to greater understanding. This model goes on weekly here in our film center, at our Cinematters Film Festival, and year-round, in person or in Zoom. We amplify the messages of the films, we engage our community, and make them a part of the conversations. We had a great model for Real Abilities, and Anita brought her network of disability organizations, but then we mixed in these 4 amazing women. Jordana, Heidi, Lynn, and Michelle. That is what truly allowed the Real Abilities seeds that we planted to grow and to put us and the JCC on the map like never before. They brought their spirit, they brought their families, they brought their friends, all of you who are here tonight. They dove in deep and they worked really hard. This commitment and unwavering ownership is a true signifier of the quality of their characters. They don't just talk about things they believe in, they actually take action. Speaking of doers, none of this would be possible without an amazing staff, and I'm honored to be here tonight with Yara Kedem, Morgan Magid, Miranda Lee, the newest member of our team, and Karima Parton, who runs our Cinematters Festival. And there have been many along the way, and we will not forget a big shout out to Ravit Turjaman, who's here in spirit. As for myself, I'm one of those lucky people who has been working at the JCC for almost 17 years. And if the proverb of loving what you do is true, then I haven't worked a day in my life, a day at the JCC. I wanted to work in a place of meaning. Life is too short to waste on abusive environments and empty values. So I was really lucky to find this match. Almost there. And why did I want to start Real Abilities? As I thought about the JCC's film program and what we should be presenting as an institution that aims to use film as a tool for inclusion, there was no better theme to address. I believe that every stone has its place in this building, that every kid, as I said before, should have a place in the sandbox, and we should stand up for those who have been treated, who are not being treated equally. There's one more important ingredient for making this all possible, and that is my boss and leader, Rabbi Joy Levitt. As you know, she's leaving the JCC, retiring, so I don't have to and hopefully have never been obsequious. When Joy was honored here a few years back, I remember one of the key qualities of her success that they like to mention was her inability to say no and to often take chances. Over my almost 17 years here at the JCC, that has been a dangerous compound to mix with my default, which is to run towards fire. This can be an explosive combination at times, but when handled just right, can result in beautiful things. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
I want to just say a huge shout out to all of you in Zoom land there. We can't see you, but we know that you're out there, and we feel your support and your love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As we close this evening, I want to thank each one of you and ask for your support once again. I'm so grateful to everyone who has supported us, not only tonight, but throughout this very challenging time. We are so close to meeting our match, and every dollar tonight given will be matched dollar for dollar. This is a moment when we need our community rallying around us. So if you can, please help.
Those of you out there in the virtual world, click the donate button on your screen, or if you're at the table, there's a QR code on the name, you know, on that. Somebody hold up one of those. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's where they are. You'll see that QR code. You all know it from restaurants. You know what to do. So please do if you can. Tonight has been extraordinary. Thank you to everyone who has made this happen. We look forward to all being together in 2022, in person, all of us to celebrate together. Thank you for being a part of this incredible JCC story. Good night.
Our world has changed in ways we could never have imagined. But one thing has remained constant: our commitment to you, our community. This is our story. This is your story. This is the JCC story. We are there for you at every age, at every stage, at every ability. This is your place. In a world divided and isolated, we came together with music, with play, with creativity, with fitness, with fun, and with our values: caring, learning, and connecting. We are there for those who need us: older adults who need vaccines, people with special needs who thrive in community, children who need help with reading and math. We care for our children and our families. We're a community of tireless staff, teachers, coaches, programmers, creating thousands of opportunities to engage, challenge, and inspire, where children can explore, learn, grow, make friends, and be safe. Our JCC story is a story of hope, of a community that stood with us, that helped us navigate these challenging times and look toward the future. We will jumpstart the JCC. We will remain strong. We will be together in person again. And we will remain who we are, your JCC, committed to creating the very best of 21st century Jewish life, revitalizing the Upper West Side and the city we love, showing up for one another, taking the lessons of this year and innovating, imagining, growing together. You are the JCC, motivating us every day. Thank you for continuing to help us write our story.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. The bar is open, some food is coming out. We hope you enjoyed the program. Thank you for all your support, and enjoy the rest of your evening.